What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of DC's The Police. Whoop! My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. And actually, I assume the game has got to be getting close to the end. Like, City Hall is not happy with us right now. It's Christmas Eve, but we're getting really, really close to the half a year mark. Like, they said we had half a year to play the game, and I think we're on day like 163 or something like that, which puts us pretty close, actually. Pretty close. So Rogers is responsible for Freeburg PD breakdown. Mayor Rogers, I will bring order to the police station. Mayor Rogers displeased with police department. I'm getting the feeling that he's just not happy with us right now. Start the car up and go to work. I bet we get our budget cut pretty hard today. And it's not really anything we could have done. My friend crashed into somebody's car at an intersection. Can I go help her out? No, you may not. You will stay here and we will get things done. So I suppose it's probably time for Peterson to get his promotion. It's been a while. Mitchell's been holding it down on this force the entire time. We got a lot of new guys, though. We got to be very, very careful. We got to be incredibly careful with the next couple sets of missions because we have a lot of people that are not ready for prime time. They just simply are not at that juncture in their life. So anyways, as long as we can keep them safe, we can end up not losing officers. I think I'd be pretty happy. Well, let's jump into town and see what horrible things are going to happen today because the game has ramped up and gotten very, very difficult on the back nine. Let's see. We are unhappy with the efficiency of the PD. We're cutting the budget. Lose a job slot. Removing an occupied slot will automatically fire an employee. Okay. Well, I would just get rid of shitty... Yeah, due to lack of federal subsidies, the city treasury can no longer afford expensive prosthetics. Disabled veterans who are not going to be receiving artificial limbs somehow learned of this and have joined with the local journalists to arrange a whole new live show. Whining on TV isn't going to grow anybody some new legs. We need to teach people that they'll get no special treatment just because they're disabled. You need to grab somebody's crutches and use their nose in the asphalt, then so be it, or put their nose in the asphalt. So they want me to go beat up people with prosthetics. You'd be kidding me. So we got to send somebody out to go handle that. We'll probably do that in just a minute. Got a reckless endangerment on this side. A man in a Santa Claus suit who was supposed to be a part of an evening show drank a lot of alcohol and ran straight into the midst of the festivities, then climbed up a giant tree and began to swing. The audience is shouting for the man to come down. The tree is about to fall over on top of them. Okay. Send Peterson. Send, actually, got a bunch of people. And now we have to pay attention to political parties as well. So send those 4, I figure. Meanwhile, on this side, I'm not going to send anybody to a veterans protest. Yes, I'm absolutely 100% sure that I will not be sending anybody to go beat up veterans. I don't know. I'm tired of the mayor's shit. It's been an entire game of this where just like non-stop he's been messing with me, and I'm just like, I don't feel like dealing with this anymore. I think I'll just take care of my business. Hopefully we don't get too many things going on today. We got public indecency while Anna Cruz was walking her chihuahua. She noticed a couple climb into the public fountain and begin pulling off each other's clothes. I wouldn't be surprised if they start having sex right here. The nerve. Alright, well, send some people out. We don't have anything but nub officers left. My hope, and that's not to say that my officers have lost any limbs or anything, although at this point in the game I'd be surprised. A hostage situation with a fatal casualty. We're not going to be able to respond. 7 armed animal rights activists have raided a pet store demanding immediate release of all prisoners. Several visitors rushed the exit. In the confusion, somebody fired on a fleeing young man who dropped dead. One of the criminals shouted, "Oh God, I can't go to prison. Let's waste all the witnesses and get out of here. Fuck the damn dogs and cats." I don't think this is an even possible level right now. Look at the amount of officers we have versus the stuff that they're trying to have us call out for. And it's like they've already requested like 50 officers and it's been like 4 minutes into the day. I don't know. I think the back end of this game is very poorly optimized. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be like this where like non-stop you're just supposed to not be able to respond to things over and over and over again. And you're losing like an officer every single day. But I don't think that's a very satisfying conclusion to the game. I really don't. Like, it's just kind of, I don't know. A few more calls. Got a missing person. A 5-year-old girl went missing during a family barbecue in the countryside. I looked away for a second and she was gone. We also have a massive fight on this side. So see, either way you were kind of screwed on this one, because if you responded to the other one, you definitely wouldn't be able to respond to the massive fight. That was 2 in a row within 20 minutes of each other that require maximum officers. It's just like, how do you even respond to anything at this point in the game? The offender was caught there, so that's a plus. That means that everybody on the investigation is going to get promoted. My preference would be that you could actually get detectives involved if you had to. I mean, detectives are law enforcement just like anybody else. For the missing person, how much time do I have left on these? I got very little time left right here. So for the missing person, I don't really want to mix and match. Let's send Chovich over as well. At this point, it's also like Jim Kendall was killed in a car accident. The cause of the car accident is unknown. So he's just like dead now? What is that? Ugh. And we're not going to have people back on time for that one either. Invitation-only party will be held at City Hall today, where officials will be given various awards for their service. The police should be on hand to provide protection. As City Hall security are sure to be drinking. I don't care. You're going to take away my stuff every single day anyways. It doesn't matter. It's all falling apart right now anyways, and there's nothing I can do about any of this. 8 armed men dressed as superheroes burst into the bank and demanded their bags be filled with cash. 2 guards drew their service weapons and opened fire on the robbers, killing 1 and wounding 2 others. Both guards were then killed, and 1 civilian has been wounded. Those guards must not be very good at their job, because if you get to fire first, you should definitely be able to take out like half those dudes. People go down when you shoot them, unless they're like 8 foot tall. I will send them over, along with Paddy Wagon and everything else support. That's only 4 officers for what is lined up as quite a large job. We've got the money that we need to retire, so essentially I'm not really going to try that hard to get to all this stuff. I don't really care what happens to the department at this point. There's nothing I can do about most of that. Girl decided to play hide and seek and all this time was hiding under a tarp in the back of her father's pickup truck. Yeah, but you kind of have to respond to missing person stuff. I mean, it's just required. Let's see. Labor union. I'm gonna need another officer slot for tomorrow, so I'll take that. That'll allow me to get rid of an officer slot tomorrow because he's going to be kind of mad at us. I got to play this like sneaky style. I got to play this like it's a video game, not like it's real life. And so I got to basically stock myself with a free slot every day. I'm also going to be taking any jobs I can get to earn more money. I mean, we're already over the threshold, so who cares? Retiree Beth Fook reports that a Viking riding a unicorn is trampling the lilies in her flower beds. He's turning the whole front lawn into a muddy mess. Come over here and shoot the bastard. I'm going to guess that she's tripping. Armed robbery. They managed to make it happen. Unfortunately, with this new political party mod, it's tough to send people out. Like, we used to have a pretty balanced force. Now, unfortunately, red has a bunch of experienced people and green has like nobody. And so it's tough. There's a rape at an underground crossing. Vanessa Gant was returning from a party at night and heard a woman scream. She looked around the corner and saw 2 men tearing off a young woman's clothes. One of them threw the victim to the ground and pinned her neck with his leg while the other one pulled off her pants. Okay. Send who you can send, I guess. I don't know. Destruction of property. Women had taken too much anxiety medication and began to hallucinate. That's about what I figured off that one. That's about what I figured. I had made some assumptions there that one was... George Gorshkov was killed in a car accident. The cause of the accident is unknown. That's a little frustrating that they're just killing my officers nonstop. I mean, neither of them was particularly good, but it's still a bit of a pain. I assume it's because we took that payout for the gas or whatever. But it's gasoline, like... How is gasoline going to make you lose control of the car? Or it said unknown. It might just be an endgame event that's meant to punish me and make the last couple days really, really difficult. We're not going to replace him, so delay the paperwork. And we'll pick up the money for him because Ain't nothing else going on right now.
He's here.
Well, what are you waiting for? Jack, do you know how I managed to stay mayor for so long?
Oh, yeah, I know. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
No, Jack, it's not that. I've stayed in my position because at the very beginning of my career, I learned an important rule. If someone, anyone, friend or enemy, if they want something bad enough, you can hook them with it.
I know just what you mean.
What does Jack Boyd want? A good pension? Doubtful. $500,000. I think that whole nonsense is a myth. The others might think that you just want a paltry sum of money and you'll walk away. I think, no, I'm sure of it. You want what you've always wanted, to remain the chief of police. And only I can give that to you. You are to lead a special operation against Chaffee. I want your team to come down like a hammer on his stinking restaurant. I want you to personally be there and stand in front of the cameras. And I want this fairy shot during his arrest, 12 bullets at least. I want to see his mutilated body all over the airwaves. I expect a perfectly planned operation. And if you keep me happy, you'll keep your job for another 1.5 years. I think we have an agreement, huh?
Not 1.5 years, Mr. Rogers. For the rest of my life.
You think you can dictate terms, Jack?
Yeah. Because if someone wants something bad enough, you can hook them with it. I think we have an agreement.
Groundwater spill threatens Freeburg with flooding. Homeless banned from rail station. Black handsome hairdresser promoters taken or mistaken for drug dealers. Off to work we go. I got that extra slot, so we should be okay to fire somebody. Or I'm sorry, we shouldn't have to fire somebody when he inevitably... I drank too much today and I don't think I can hold it together. Can I go home? Yup. Get on out of here. Alright, so today we shouldn't have... Let's see. Bob Farber turned out to be the member of a gang known as the Snow Warriors. He could help you take down the gang if you make him an informant. I accept. Make him an informant. Start to investigate. So we gotta send some people out. Let's go ahead, and it's a homicide. We'll send Luckett, Ames, and Mole. And that should be more than enough. I don't know how this whole thing's gonna play out. I know we're getting towards the end of the game. Like, I can't imagine we're gonna go much further than New Year's Eve. And so hopefully everything works out. Hello, I've been staying at the motel with my sweetie, having a little fun and relaxing, you know. We saw a creepy guy with a scar on his face coming out of the next room. I recognized the guy right away because I've seen him like 5 times on TV. His picture is all over the news. He's suspected of murdering a bunch of people. He's still here, but you better hurry. I don't know about that one. It doesn't sound like something that I want to run down. Child abuse. A teacher bit a boy on the face because he was biting the other children. The police are on the phone with the child's mother. Come and arrest this menace or I will shoot her like a mad dog. Okay. Send Song and Beard Cell, please. Since their political ideologies appear to match up. I'm going to use Namada as best as possible to mentor Matza and Wuggles, although they lost a whole bunch of skill points based on a decision that I made. One of our employees was brutally assaulted on his way to work. The poor man is currently in the hospital. We need 2 officers on his ward within the next half hour. Tell them to give him everything he wants, bring him a pillow, buy him a soda, scratch his back, whatever. As far as the investigation into the incident, we already know who was behind the attack. We'll take it from here. All right, send a couple of the scrubs out. Oh, really? It was an actual suspicious individual. Holy shit. It was actually somebody. The entire game, I told you they were going to punish me for it eventually and be like, yep, just one time the entire game, one of these suspicious individual dentist-type guys is going to be real. Fraud. A telemarketer lured Claire Dick to a clinic for a free rejuvenation procedure. She arrived at 2 o'clock and received various injections. Afterwards, her whole body was swollen, her muscles went numb, and her face trembled with unbearable pain. Moreover, the clinic is requiring her to pay the full amount of $500 for the procedure. She doesn't have that kind of money, so they insist she'll have to pay in installments. Alright, well, why... Like, I don't think that's fraud. If she went there and took services, like, at any time, she could have been like, no, unless they, like, strapped her down. I mean... I don't know. We'll send somebody over, but I have no idea. We don't really have a ton of officers left right now. Child abuse case. We went ahead and we arrested the teacher who bit the little kid on the face, because obviously... that's among one of those rules for teachers. Don't bite your students in the face. You gotta be pretty mad at a kid to bite him in the face. I'd be like, that kid, he must have really been pushing buttons lately. A man was robbed by 2 thugs armed with nunchucks. One came from behind and hit me in the back of the knees, and the other struck me right in the nose. I didn't pass out, but near enough. They took all my money and just walked away slowly. Okay. Send a couple officers over. We've got guns, they've got nunchucks, so I don't think we really got to worry about it that much. Nunchucks are what you get when you've got a faulty keyboard. Or you got big fingers, I guess. I don't know. God damn it. How did I know this was going to happen? It's for the fraud report. We caught the guy. Which is good. We've got a while, though, before we're going to be able to respond to any of this. We got a bomb threat. A cleaner was mopping the boss's office and found a bundle of wires sticking out from under a table. I'm afraid to even move, she whispered. Drug sales. The gravelly voice of Mrs. Adams just phoned in with a new demand. There's brazen black virgins spreading their infection right here in broad daylight. Remove them from the street. I'm afraid for our health. You sound like a crazy person, so I don't even know if I'm going to respond to either of these. That one's probably nothing, and this one right here, it seems like she's probably on something too, so I don't really want to be that guy right now. Got a suicide threat at a nursing home. An elderly woman with Alzheimer's barricaded herself in a room with all the medication, started swallowing everything she could get her hands on. The nurse says they can't break the door down on their own. Alright, well, you guys go mess with the old lady. 2 guys with nunchucks are walking calmly down the street. Hey, ninja wannabes, throw down your toys. Before you get blapped on. Before you get caught with the Nina. We'll find out on these 2. What's the worst that could happen? Some fictional people die? The girls were handing out flyers for a hairdresser's salon. The bomb in question was just a mess of wires, nuts, and bolts pushed into a piece of soap. Apparently somebody from the office staff was playing a practical joke. Man, people in this city play some really rough practical jokes. Like pretending soap is C4 and like running wires in. This is really elaborate. I'd be like, you guys are really trying to take this to the next level. I don't know if this is really appropriate. So how do I collect their pension, by the way, since I got them tied up anyways? Driving under the influence on this side. Bukarika and Hidako probably take it. A passenger saw a car drive up onto a curb, knock over a trash can, and then speed off, swerving down the road. You got to deal with this drunk driving. There's children walking around. Alright, you guys go do your thing. So if I've got dead guys here, like, how do I get their stuff? That is the question that I have. It said that I get paid every day for each dead officer. Suicide attempt. Officer caught, or offender caught, officers unharmed. Sorry, we're not tracking down police officers right now. I don't think that would ever happen. in general, the rule seems to be that if the cops are up to no good, the cops tend to cover for them out here. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Every job comes with its temptations. When you're running a contracting business, you can be skeevy doing that, just like you can be skeevy being a cop. The question is, how do you incentivize not being skeevy? Because cops are already pretty well paid, and they still act skeevy a lot of the time. So I don't know. I mean, I know cops. They clear easy 6 figures. Like, I'm not even messing with you. That's like direct from the horse's mouth. Cops earn a lot of money out where I live. And yet, there's still all kinds of corruption problems and whatnot. So I don't think it's a compensation issue. I mean, really, I think there needs to be a...
Mr. Boyd, there's some armed men on the floor. Mr. Boyd, there's a lot of them.
I didn't catch that. Say again?
Excuse me, Mr. Boyd. It seems I accidentally frightened your secretary. Ah, they published these stories in a book? My grandfather read me these stories from the old newspapers whenever I was ill. As a child, I was often ill, several times a year. And you know what, Mr. Boyd? You're no Bobby Flash.
I am aware of that.
No. I mean it as a compliment. You want to clean up all the crime in Freeburg, right?
Or so I dreamed, once upon a time.
Do you know why you failed, Mr. Boyd? Do you know why Bobby Flash always wins? Because when you're surrounded by cartoon criminals, the only way to win is to become a cartoon cop. You're no cartoon, Mr. Boyd. You suffer too much. You have too many doubts, too much fear, too much internal conflict. Maybe that's why the people of this city forgive all your mistakes, because you seem like a real human being. If Bobby Flash made a mistake, we'd never forgive him. From Bobby Flash, we want cold, calculated perfection, and this is why I've decided that I don't mind if you keep your job.
What, have you abandoned your insane plan to storm the city hall?
You think it insane? To solve all my problems in a single stroke? Assuming, of course, that we're properly prepared.
Let's say we do burn City Hall to the ground and kill Rogers. What next? You simply walk into the smoke-filled room and take a seat in his smoldering chair?
No, Mr. Boyd. I've been preparing for a year for what happens next. I'll give the prosecutor's office an impressive folder with compromising evidence against Rogers. Information about how he suppressed his political adversaries, finally lost his mind, and plotted to rain blood on the streets of Freeburg. Of course, Troy Starr, faithful City Hall employee that he is, will easily confirm all this. At the same time, my dear Jordan will finally decide to break her silence and tell everyone how that fool Rogers threatened her, forced her to kill all the victims of his sexual violence to ensure their unpleasant stories would never come to light. Of course, everyone will understand that we didn't have time for formal complaints. The night before Mayor Rogers' private security detail would plunge the city into chaos, our valiant police chief Jack Boyd made the difficult decision to arrest the mayor of Freeburg. Unfortunately, Rogers descended into delusion and engaged in a shootout with the police, which ended in his death. We'll have to call an early election to replace the mayor, and of course, it won't be too difficult to win the election fairly.
And then?
You know, Mr. Boyd, most of the facts that I collected in Rogers' file are quite true. Anyone who reads through the mountain of evidence would have no doubt that this man was the most vile person in the world. Murderer, a rapist, thief, racist, sexist. Are you a sexist, Mr. Boyd?
I'm sorry?
Are you a sexist, Mr. Boyd? Or perhaps racist?
I try not to be.
That's it. I as well. Although I have long been known under a revolutionary pseudonym, I myself am no revolutionary. I believe in evolution. I am convinced that a city which offers such broad support for racist gangs, a city where people cheer as feminist protests are suppressed, a city which for decades has tolerated corrupt officials, I say this city has no interest in a mayor who unconditionally stands for freedom, equality, and the rule of law. Not yet. But perhaps they are ready for a mayor who tries to stand for freedom, equality, and the rule of law, at least when the situation allows it. That's why you're so popular, Mr. Boyd. The city is ready for people like you and me, for people who are ready to make compromises. I'm counting on you, Mr. Boyd.
And, when will they be ready?
I beg your pardon?
You said that the city isn't ready for a mayor who stands for freedom, equality, and the rule of law. When will they be ready? Who decides when they're ready?
I'll decide.
That's concerning. But I absolutely will not support Rogers. That guy's been a thorn in my side the entire game, and so I kind of want to get him. My name is Splattercat. This is the police. Boop, boop. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.